like to welcome everyone to the conversation where we talk about everything Cowboys. My favorite team, your favorite team, America's team. Here with your host, Coach Marv.
Hey, Cowboy Nation, how are you doing today, man, on this beautiful, beautiful Monday? Stopped in to today to do two things. Talk about some things, some of the Cowboy news, some of the stuff I've, been talking about in the last couple of days. Also, came into because I got some very good friends and a co-worker of mine, a lot of co-workers of mine that are New York Knicks fans. And I really wanted to come on my small little platform, but I really wanted to come on and say I congratulate the New York Knickerbockers for winning their first championship, winning the NBA title on this past weekend on this past weekend on Saturday night in San Antonio with a resounding win to win 4-1 and to get their first championship, NBA championships since 1973. Been a long road for the Knicks to get back. The Knicks fan base has been one of the true fan bases of all time. One thing I can say about the Knicks fan base, if they're Knicks fans, they're Knicks fans. They're not going to waver off their Knicks, even if their Knicks is not doing good. They still are going to be true Knicks fans. And every year they're going to always think they're going to be in the running. One thing else I know about Knicks fans, they are one of the best fan bases around. And another thing I know about the Knicks fan base, they love their Knicks, regardless of the ones that win championships, the ones that if they give them if they play hard with their heart on their sleeve and give true effort, even though they may come up short, they do not turn their back on their Knicks fans. Their Knicks players. If you give them hardcore play, they will love you in New York and give you and always revel you in New York. And they're not gonna go and just slang you and throw you to the wolves. You are always Nick if you give your heart and soul to them. That is one of the things I always like about Knicks fans because they are true fans. And one other thing about the Knicks fans, and I hate to say this, and I hope y'all, my Cowboy fans, see where I'm coming from here. One thing about Knicks fans, true. Another thing they are. Knicks fans are not hard to impress. They don't care if you got the flash and dash and can jump everybody and everybody in the league wants you. They wrap their arms around guys and just do their job and do it with a lunch pail attitude. They wrap their arms around a Charles Oakley when Charles Oakley wasn't not dynamic. They wrap their arms around Anthony Mason when Anthony Mason was not that dynamic. They wrap their arms around a John Starks where John Starks was not a perennial all-star that can go somewhere and get some. They wrap their arms around a Derek Harper when he came in there to play guard. They wrap their arms around a Sprewell when he had some good years, but we're not talking about a guy that was a mega star. They wrapped their arms around some players that, yes, they were good, but not, they didn't look, they didn't go and say, well, these guys were not good enough. And they love lunch pail guys. And so I just want to say congratulations. I never was a Patrick Ewing fan. I thought Patrick Ewing was good. I don't think he was better than Elijah Wan and all these other guys. But they I will say this: Knicks fans love him, regardless of the time when he scored 2 points in a playoff game against the Indiana Pacers. People don't like to talk about that. I always rip my friends about that. It's regardless he scored 2 points against Rich Smith in a goal game. Or when he missed a layup that could have beat the Indiana Pacers one time. All these type things. But Patrick Ewing was a true Knick warrior. And one thing I can say about it, the Knicks are fans go at their warriors, and they grind it out, and they won something. I'm hoping that we learn something, like my title said. What we learn from this Knicks team. I heard some people, I talked to some people talking about they run around what Josh Hart said when he said F those, forget those picks. Well, let me say this on the other end. If the Dallas Mavericks didn't forget their picks, Luca and Luca and the guard dog would be in New York now. See, Josh Hart came in. I'm a Laker fan. I remember when Josh Hart came in the league. I think Josh Hart was a second-round pick. See, Josh Hart says F those picks. But if somebody would have said F those picks for him, he might not even been in the league. You know, I remember Josh Hart coming in the league, and I like Josh Hart. I wish he would still stayed at LA, would still been in LA. He was a glue person. I don't even think Bridges was the first-round draft pick either. Brunson was not a first-round draft pick. Cat Williams was a Cat. Cat was a first. He was a first pick overall. But team that given up on him. A lot of those guys that's on the Knicks team are not top picks, but together they one hell of a team. Are they flash and dash? Is anybody, looking at them saying we need 3, 4 all-stars or 5 or 6 all-stars? Guess what? Now people are going to consider them being all-stars. You know what the Knicks remind me of this year? The Seattle Seahawks, the New England Patriots. Team personified. And we want to learn anything from the Knicks, we can learn something else from the Knicks. Some of y'all don't like Jerry Jones as the owner and general manager. I'm not saying Jerry is this guy. Jerry, I would take Jerry over Dolan any day. But a lot of people can't stand Dolan. Some of the Knicks fans can't stand Dolan. But this team won in spite of Dolan. And you know something? It was a team. If you look at the Knicks talent base, if you were to put up their talent between some of the other teams in this league and say, do they have the most talent? Do they have the most flamboyant guys? No. But they got a hell of a team. See, when you win a championship, not everybody's revering them. But if I was to put the players before they won a championship and say pick Bridges or Josh Hart, even some people were doubting Brunson. And if I was to put them in a court, put them in a pool, and we were picking one of a talented 5 to go out there and play an all-star game or some pickup games, I guarantee you Brunson, Josh Hart, Bridges, probably Cat, Mitch with all the people coming off the bench, even OG. Wouldn't be first round picks. But together, bought in, they're NBA champions. And now everybody's gonna give them this acclaim and say, "Oh man, they just so great. They the best thing since sliced bread because they won championship." But to get there, it wasn't about they had the greatest talent. Was it some sacrifice for the Knicks to win a Super Bowl? Now I'm not saying we should do this. I ain't saying that we should have a player like Brunson that gave up $100 million in his extension. Not to go sign guys that was the top guys in the league. Get guys that fit. See, Josh Hart fit. They fit the DNA of New York. If you look at the Knicks now, and if you were fortunate enough to go back and look at the Knicks in the 70s, role players, no guys that was way over the top. Yeah, you had some stars then that made their names to be stars, but no guys way over the top. But team, hard nose, do small things. And one thing about the New York Knicks fans, they love guys to do small things. You know something? I can say one thing about the Knicks fans. They real basketball fans. Because they can look at a guy like a Charles Oakley and love him because they know he brings toughness and rebound. They can love a guy like John Starks when they know he's just a streaky guy and still might miss something, but how hard he plays. And they'll never turn their back on him. And they understand that you need those type of guys to win. They brought 3 guys from Villanova that all these guys, Bridges, Josh Hart, and Brunson, all they have done when they've been together is win. Are they the best players? I mean, some people might call Brunson one of the best players in the NBA now. But I always say, what did y'all say before this series started? But we would have ranked Brunson and Bridges and Josh Hart as they big 3. Nope, y'all shouldn't have wouldn't have. But it said nothing about them being a big 3. But guess what? They're more accomplished than any big 3 that y'all probably done put together lately. Because every level they played at, they was either part of the championship run, either in it, or they won it. And they always did it doing their own roles and playing hard as a team. And that's infectious. Clyde Frazier said something in an interview. They interviewed him after the game. He said, asked him how he felt about this Knicks team. And they asked him a question, said, what makes this Knicks team like the one in the 70s? He said, the action of their team, man, they got such a team. He started calling out his teammates. And some of those guys, I don't even know, talking about they New York legends. But they're not household NBA star legends. And he started calling out guys. And he said, it all started when they got Bridges, Josh Hart, and Brunson together. And they brought that energy of team. and it's infectious to everybody else. I guess some of y'all say, well, Coach, what you talking about? You're a Cowboy fan. I'm telling you, that's what we need. If you want to say damn picks, say damn go and get nothing else. We got enough. We got enough. We got more than what Seattle had last year. If you want to talk about quarterback play, like some people talk about, it's so great and it's so important. We got a better quarterback by 3-4 times better than Seattle had last year. And I would guarantee you, I would say we probably had a better quarterback than the New England Patriots had. If you want to talk like that. But know what we worried about? No, we still ain't talking about. Know what we worried about right now? We worried about if a man gonna get paid. And that's it. I don't want you to think I'm sounding insensitive. I don't want you to think I'm sounding hateful. But my main focus is, are we gonna get number 6? Because some of the bed that Mr. George Pickens is lying in right now is because of George Pickens. But he in a hell of a situation. And that's how I always said. You might want to say, no, well, Coach, they talking about their pocket. I ain't talking about their pocket. But I have said in the beginning, and I will continue to say, if you're going to have a championship team, you better have some guys that are willing to sacrifice for the championship run. Let me give you an example of sacrifice from the New York Knicks. Mr. Bridges. Y'all know Bridges? He played a backup role in Phoenix, was pretty good. Left Phoenix and went to the Brooklyn and was their star. Yeah. Their leading scorer. But he understood when he got to New York, it wasn't about him being the leading scorer. It was about him doing the stuff. He was going to have his times, but he had to fit his role. And by fitting his role, he got something that nobody going to ever take away from him. He's got something he's going to be revered for from from now on. When they call out his name, Bridges, they're going to say NBA championship champion. That's not going to be when you win a championship. They put that in. Listen here, that's your beginning of your name now. And I'm here to say something, and I say this, and I mean it in all terms. And I know it's not going to be popular. Some people going to look at me and say, oh, I'm hating. But I need to ask these people that say I'm hating, do we really want to win a championship, or do we want to get likes and clicks? Do we want to be the biggest show Facebook-wise, YouTube-wise? Or do we want to talk that trash that we the winners? Because we got enough talent on this team. By far. Yeah, I hear somebody say about Gary and Clark and Quentin Williams. You hear them how they talk about team and about getting other people off. They're building team. Bringing somebody else in here off the street, but they might not be a part of the team. See, I know guys out there probably don't play football. I've heard some people's stories about how good their teams was. But I bet you that team may have had some quiet, but they were a team. I bet you that everybody was out there doing their own thing. Ain't no damn way they won. And if they say that, they're lying to you. This team of New York, but this is what I said. Did the some people talking to me tell me say, well, you're talking about they were the team, but really, San Antonio gave them the game. Yeah, you could say that. You could say that. You could say San Antonio gave them the series. But teams, my mom always said, my grandma always said, somebody era could be somebody else's blessing. And she always asked us, are you ready to receive the blessing? Are you open enough to receive the blessing? See, the blessing can come, but you ain't got it together, you can't get it. The worst thing a team could do is go around chasing talent and not chasing cohesiveness, chemistry, sacrifice, dogs, people willing to give it up for the team. You know, I keep hearing something from this camp that really intrigues me. You know, I hear from this camp all the time. I'm hearing keeping the main thing the main thing. See, one thing you ain't gonna hear Coach Marv talk about. I don't give a damn. Excuse my French. I don't give a damn if Pickett gets paid or not. Because I understand he's gonna get his paycheck. But I've been waiting for 30-some years to rise the Lombardi trophy again. And if he coming in here and he disgruntled about his check or he ain't get paid, we better off without him. Because if he get hurt tomorrow, is the season over? But he got a chance to do something great. And he found a home where a quarterback that, listen, had the best percentage of tight window throws in the league. And you know something? I've heard content creators say, well, you don't get no separation. Go someplace else and you ain't got a guy that can put in all the money like that. Let's see how his numbers get. He's in the right spot. He's in the right spot to win big. Will he get paid a long-term contract in Dallas? I don't know. But I guarantee you this, and I'm going to ask y'all seriously. If you're the Dallas Cowboys and you went 7-9, and everybody's been talking to you the last 2 years about you need to get more physical. You got to run the ball. You got to know, you got to have a running game. All our people, all my content creators, we got to run the ball. We got to be more physical. Yeah, this team, this year, turn over the run. Do you, if that's what you've been hearing, do you make the choice to pay two guys with no other team in the NFL doing it $30 million, $35+ million? And then, if you believe in your heart, which I think the Cowboys, Schottenheimer, and the Cowboys themselves believe that the best wide receiver on their team is CeeDee Lamb, do you believe that it's just automatic that you pay the next guy more than him, plus have two receivers for 35 plus million where nobody else on the NFL is doing that? You don't think that's a precarious position that the Cowboys in saying, first we're going to do something nobody else done. Then we're going to pay, and we believe that this guy is better. And we believe that Pickens ain't bad. He's great. But we believe this guy is better. If that's what you believe, how do you justify paying him more and then having two $30 million wide receivers? I just asked the question. Because some of y'all answer that question like, oh, and y'all know that don't really make common sense. And you know the craziest thing about that? Pickens' agent know that don't make common sense. And George Pickens know that don't make common sense. And he using you, Cowboy Nation, to try to push his money up because he using you, your thirst. Because there's nothing that he can say. But he use y'all. And you notice that ain't nobody else in the NFL saying that they should pay him more, and just outright they should pay him more. Y'all notice that? You ain't getting no articles, no other people out there saying that. Y'all ain't notice that? The only people really saying that is us, because they're waiting for you to do something like that so they can unleash every distracting article they got. And the first article they're going to release is that the Cowboys got a new number one wide receiver. The Cowboys got the first two $35+ million wide receivers. You got to throw the ball most of the time if you got two $35 million wide receivers. Damn the running game. They waiting. They're waiting. And what happens? What happens? Oh man, if I got to 1,000 subscribers, man, hey man, hey, check this out. Hold up. I'm ranting and raving, but it's good news gotta go. My man, let me tell you something. Big Time Show said, congrats, Marv. Coach Marv got 1,000 subscribers. Man, that is I credit y'all, but let me tell you something. It's two guys that I truly credit for me to be able to come on and do this, man. One of those people is Big Time Show. Just for him giving the opportunity his call-in show and just to talk and be and have and to be able to get my point across, man, and just the camaraderie. And then we find out that we know we know the same people. And, I went to Norfolk State, and good friend of his went to Norfolk State. We went to Norfolk State together. And then to turn around, man, Boss Cowboy, man. Boss Cowboy gave me my first chance to come on based off of Facebook posts. And I said something. We started talking. He knew football and said, "Hey man, sound like you was a coach." And I told him I had been a former coach, and we started chopping it up. Next thing we know, we were doing some great things, man. So hey man, I appreciate them and this. Something, this therapy. It's not, if I don't have if I feel now when I get on front of this and to be able to talk, man. If I don't have but one subscriber, man, it is a blessing to be able to get out there and talk, man, and have a voice, man. That's why I always try to tell all these people, man, have a voice. If it's on this platform or if it's in your own church group, if it's in your own men's group, with anywhere, just have a voice. Me and my fellas at the barbershop, my barbershop I go to, we started something over a year ago called Shop Talk. And we get together every third Tuesday at the shop at 7 o'clock, and we sit there as men, and be about 10 of us, and we talk about men issues. No cameras, no nothing. Only know each other through the barbershop. And we have helped guys start to go and get see the doctor and found they had something. We have helped people get in connected with investments, some people to get a better job. We have helped just helping people, man, and talking and being a voice. And that's what I consider this in, man. I want to tell everyone out there, all the subscribers that came in, all the ones that have just subscribed, all the ones that follow me and listen to me. I just want to sincerely thank from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Big Time Show, man. I appreciate you, man. Him and Nam Sports and all of them are just tearing the things down, man. And I appreciate all that, man. I appreciate my good friend, Mr. Jason Whittingham, popping in here. Mr. Jason Whittingham is another guy that me and him went to Norfolk State together, and I appreciate him. And he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So we got a lot of fans that's in here, man. So they understand what I'm talking about when it comes down to team, man. And I know I'm saying some stuff that's unpopular when I'm talking about the George Pickens thing. I know I'm gonna get a lot of people that's gonna be irate because, and I guess I say this with this, man. And some people don't understand this. We as a Cowboy Nation need too much bling. I disagree when I hear people say and I disagree when I hear people say we can't win without George Pickens. But bling is where we want. And we are too much into bling before we get into anything else. And I think what I want us to be, I say that because I'd rather us be more into team than bling. And I hope y'all hear me on that. More than me getting 1,000 subscribers or whatever, man. I really want to win 6, man, and I feel it in my bones. But this team needs to be defensive led to get to 6. That's our DNA, people. The Knicks got back to the championship after 53 years. When they went to the championship before with the same DNA they did before. Look at the team makeup. Same DNA when they just fill up short the 2 times. Same DNA now. Seattle Seahawks got to the Super Bowl back their first time they got to the Super Bowl with Mike Holmgren, a quarterback, Mac Hasselbeck at quarterback, Alexander at running back, some okay wide receivers, a very good defense, and they got to the Super Bowl. Yes, they lost. They got back to the Super Bowl again with Russell Wilson before they let him cook. Do anybody remember the Seahawks? They had a great. That's when they had the guy from Florida. They can run. He was an all-purpose guy. Some other great, all right wide receivers, some speed, a good tight end, great beast mode running back, great defense. They got to Super Bowl one. Then they decided to say, we're gonna go and let Russell cook, and we're gonna get wide receivers. We're gonna do it with less defense. We're gonna let Russell. I'm not saying Russell Wilson killed them, but they got away from their DNA. until they come back to their DNA this year with a quarterback that Prescott 10 times better than. Everybody like JSN, but nobody was calling JSN the best wide receiver in football until he won the Super Bowl. And they didn't do it with JSN and DJ Metcalf, did they? They let DJ Metcalf go. Yes, they brought in the guy from the Rams, but he was a shell of himself. Less money, do his job. And they won a Super Bowl. So when you tell me that you need George Pickens, and with him you went 7-9, come on, man. That's just saying you want bling. And that's what I admire about the Knicks fans. They don't want bling. They want hard workers with some talent and people are gonna put their into it. They're gonna bring the rest out of it. And guess what, man? That's what we were. See, all the Cowboys y'all talk about with Jimmy Johnson and them, talking about superstars, they became superstars, more became superstars after they got their rings. But before their rings, there was no Pro Bowlers on the defense. But we act like guys can't play for us. Unless they was a first round draft pick. I hear y'all talking about the Rams. Let's talk about the Rams. Let's talk about the real Rams. I did a show right after that because I heard somebody talking about they got the best roster. I showed you their roster. Take away, and I'm not talking about if you go through their roster, there's nobody on there. They got maybe one free agent, two free agents that they signed outside their own free agents. Go check it out. They got more undrafted free agents on their roster than any other team. But they got Myles Garrett. We can call Puka Nacua. We can't call him. He was a draft pick they got out of the third round. So I don't even consider him. They got the receiver they got in the trade after he is already on the downside. They already told him this past off season. Remember, they told him that they put him out to see what they could get for him, but they couldn't get that grip for him, so they brought him back. See, they don't play around. They don't. If they say they're gonna trade you, they don't care what their fan base say. They do football moves. They get they let a guy that we coveted that I like, that we brought in here, they let him go. They didn't say, oh man, we got to keep the guy that got 5, 6 interceptions. No, they say, we can upgrade here, we're going to let him go. They really got two cornerbacks from Kansas City. I already told you, Kansas City don't pay cornerbacks. So if you want some cornerbacks, they're going to have good cornerbacks for 4 years. And then what they're going to do, they don't even sign no extension. Cornerbacks and safeties in San Francisco and Kansas City, they let them go. And they don't care how good they are. Y'all Cowboys fans couldn't take that. Y'all will have a heart attack. Other organizations letting guys go that's Pro Bowlers and not even bat an eye. And y'all talking about we need to go out and get free agency. We need to go out and spend money. Who doing it? You say the Rams going out and do it. Where? Would they go out and trade Let me tell you something. When they say they want to go get a Myles Garrett, and they see that Sean McVay taking 3rd round, 7th round, 6th round, no first round guys on their offensive line. He taking 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round guys, undrafted free agents, and getting the best out of them and putting their talent together and having a good team. So when he say, I want to go get a Myles Garrett, and it's going to cost me so and so amount of money, man, you just save me money on all this other stuff. Go get whatever you want. It makes no difference how much it costs because you saving me money. That's how I work in business, and that's how I work in football. But no, how we want to do is we want to go get a Myles Garrett, but we want him to pay Tyler Smith to be here the highest paid, Dak Prescott be the highest paid, George Pickens be the highest paid, CeeDee Lamb be the highest paid. Then we want to go get the linebacker from Miami. Then we want to go get another cornerback from someplace else. Then we want to go get another guy from this place. And then the owner say, well, what can you do with the rest of the guys? I got to get all first round draft picks, and I got to get all superstars for you to win. There ain't nothing facts, Tyrone Church. I ain't lying. I'm telling you, we act like we don't see it. It's just like the society is going right now about how we got going on in the White House. And it's right in our eyes, and we act like we don't even see it. We watch a Ram team and we cover them and talking about all that. And then when I flash their stuff on the screen, you look at it and say, well, dog, they ain't got no first, nobody. They got 1, 2 guys that they go out and free agents and sign. They see somebody they want, they go get that guy. And guess what else would they do? Von Miller came there. When Von Miller started showing some wear and tear, they don't say, man, we got to hold on to Von Miller. Know what they did with Von Miller? Cut him. When we talking about we want to get Bobby Wagner. What did they do with Bobby Wagner? Bobby Wagner started showing some kicks in the honor. They cut him. What they do with OBJ, Odell Beckham? He come and have a great Super Bowl with him. He just had a knee injury. They probably could have kept him there. Guess what they do with it? Let him go. What they do with that running back long time ago that they're supposed to be good in the second year? They let him go. Look at what the receiver that broke all the records when they won the Super Bowl, Cooper Kupp, right? The one that he had the greatest year in receivers history. When he started showing a little sign, guess what? They cut him off. But y'all want to be like the Rams and go get somebody. Are y'all good enough fans to do that? Let Von Miller go, Cooper Kupp go, O.G. Beckham go, Odell Beckham go. Y'all strong enough to do that? Because if you ain't strong enough to do that, you can't go out in free agency and get people. Because y'all want everything, but y'all don't want to cut nothing. And then y'all don't want to develop anything. And when it doesn't get to what you want, the first thing you're going to say, go get another. And know what that is? I always tell players, when you chasing the carrot, instead of digging in and getting better, I used to hate players always talking about, well, if this would have, if this would have happened, if this would have. See that if. It was a big word. My pastor preached about if the other day. He said, if my people, which is a big word, it could carry a whole lot on that one, them 2 little letters. But we're not going to get nothing until we say we're going to get to the grind. And I don't have nobody out there content creating talking about how are we going to get better? How are we going to get better at the grind? How are we going to pump up another guy to go? But you know what we do? We let the media coach us into something else. We have a guy that set up there the other day like Agent Zero, Overshawn. get up like a grown man and talk about him having the green dot and how he and telling people the responsibility he got on his shoulders and standing up to the responsibilities and understanding the assignment. Get right off there talking about let's go get the linebacker from Dolphins. And we think we go get other guys like we're gonna have other guys. We get 3 or 4 guys and have guys sitting on the sideline. I heard something. I love Brian Barnes. I love Brian Barnes. I love him. I think he does a great job. But when he tells you that you need to go get Bobby Wagner and put him on and say just because he's this insurance policy, if Bobby Wagner is on the last legs of his career, you think he gonna come here to stand behind somebody and sit on the sideline? Bobby Wagner ain't going out no punt returns. He ain't doing no punt kickoff. He not gonna be no special team guy for you. What, what are we talking about? Or we just get guys on 50-man roster and just put them on station. And let me give you another clear on Bobby Wagner. Love Bobby Wagner. If the Washington Redskins first, the Rams, the one y'all covered him, let him go. Remember that, right? The one y'all talk about has such great talent. They let him go. That should have said one thing right there. Then the Redskins Washington picked him up. Sorry for the Redskins, but the Washington team picked him up. Their defense was just as bad as ours, and they didn't bring it back. And I didn't see them sign no great free agent linebackers either. They don't bring it back. What the hell? Why you on it? We say because he got a good, his intellect. Man, let me tell you something. These guys learn intellect just as fast. Let me tell you something. If O'Shawn been we can talk about how many games he's played, but if he been in a pro setting for 3 years, if he ain't ready intellectually, we should have big. See, this is where I say other teams do. See, other teams don't play around with it. If they feel that you are not going to be the guy, that your intellect ain't the one, we know you got some talent, they get rid of you. See, you see what San Francisco 49ers did with the quarterback that we traded, and we tried to pump him up when we got him here? They traded their whole 2 or 3 first-round draft picks to draft this quarterback, the number 5th pick in the draft. And after 2 years, they say, hold up, he ain't the guy. And they didn't play around and say, we invested too much into him. No, they did. What good organizations do, you got to go. Well, you don't get up. So I call speed on this way, baby. It's about the team and about getting, and we don't care who out there, who fan base out there say, how you gonna get rid of the quarterback? He a first round draft pick. Anyway, man, they're like, man, that's it. And they didn't bat an eye. I bet you Cowboy Nation couldn't trade no quarterback we drafted in the first round, and we cry about we're cutting a guy that's on a 6th round draft pick. We cry about talking about it's a failed draft when we cut a guy in the 5th round draft pick. Like everybody we draft supposed to be all-star. We are our own worst enemy, man. And if Knicks taught us anything, they should have taught us team first. Because they're not a bunch of superstars. Individually, they fall. Together, those 3, Josh Hart, Bridges, Brunson, bring guys together as a team. And they win championships. You got a nucleus here. I think the key to that I hear from Quentin Williams. Let me tell you something about Quentin Williams. Let me give y'all a little news flash by Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams is on the downside of his career. Not saying he's not a very good player and he's gonna be dominant in a way, but he is not at the top of his game anymore. His knowledge can make him top of the game. His knowledge and his willing to know about winning. See, he don't reference at the Jets. He goes reference back when he was at Bama. He feels like he was at Bama again because he sees talent around him. And I know he's going to feel like he's at Bama because Christian Parker, as I've told y'all from this jump street, his main focus is have high IQ football players on defense. You can't win with dumb football players. Now, I ain't saying they dumb, but dumb football IQ players, you can't win with them. I don't care how talented they are. Because when they face other talented teams, their low IQ football-wise is going to shine. And it's going to shine in the wrong way against you. We have a team, man. And as I said to you, to win a championship, it's the sum of the parts. And we're going to have to depend, and there's going to be some guys on this team like it was on the Rams. I mean, like it was on Seattle, like it was on New England. They're guys that you're going to see coming in this year that nobody's going to talk about, that's going to have career years. And I'm not talking about career years that they're going to go to the Pro Bowl, be all pro. They're going to have their best year to date as a football player. And I'll say it again, and I'll say it 1,000 times. Stars and names are made every day in football. It ain't to repeat names over and over again. Names are being made every day on the football field. We used to coach guys and say that. Who's going to make their name today? Because what makes a name? Opportunity. I ain't say go out there with a bunch of guys that we ain't got, that we don't see no talent in. You think we going out there with guys we don't see no talent in? I see a young offensive line. I seen a guy that I said that I saw the number 71 do an interview talking about, he tell people that, man, last year was my first year playing and I learned a lot. Now I got an off season now to go into it. And I look how good he looked last year. And I know he had some hiccups here and there, but he looked good, how strong he is, how fast. And I say to myself, I say, man, we got an offensive line that half of them, over 3/4 of them, ain't played 17 full games yet. I ain't say 17 games together. They ain't played 17. Tyler Guyton ain't played 17 games yet. Your offensive guard that you drafted last year only played, he missed 4 games this year. He ain't played 17 games yet. BB, if you put all his season together, he hadn't played a full 17 games yet. Bass coming off the bench, he hadn't played 17 games yet. Your backup swing tackle, he hadn't played 17 games yet as an NFL player. And y'all crying about, and this offense was a offensive line rated PFF wise, the 6th best offensive line, and you had a quarterback that was in the MVP race. You had 2 wide receivers 1,000 yards. You had a running back with 1,300 yards, and your offense ranked high, but it still had some hiccups here and there. But with these guys ain't played 17 games yet, come on, man. Do y'all see? Get out this bling, man. I guarantee you, every NFL team I can say, y'all don't want that offensive line? We'll take it. Oh, we'll take that. Give us that. Y'all crying about it? Okay. Let's still go out there and see what happens. He'll get some more. I bet you get more money someplace else than he get from us. But you know what he is? Still dedicated to playing in Dallas because Dallas gave him his chance. He don't want to move. If he was if still played for the New York Knicks, they'll love it. Hard as he played, they'll love him. They wouldn't talk bad about. They might say something bad, but they'll love him. But man, get rid of him, cut him, let him go. Couldn't give up a sack. He gave over 6 sacks in about 500 attempts. His run grade is over 70-something%, 80%, and was even better than previous years. Come on, man. If we watch, we used to have off right tackle in named Doug Free that wouldn't even have as good as him still, and y'all love him. Because he ain't got the bling. He not a first-round draft pick. Y'all know I'm telling the truth, man. And it's sad, man. It's time for us to start getting some X's and O's and watching how we play. There's time for us to start looking at effort on every play and pointing that out, talking about we can't have that effort. It's time for us to start breaking film down and show where we just ain't go out with no aggressiveness. It's time to watch some film and say, this effort right here. It's time to start watching other teams and say, we need to do this. Not chase players. We need to have this mentality because that's what's going to win it. We talking about all this go and get players. I know that builds stats and all that stuff, and it gets clicks and views, but that's fantasy football. You ain't gonna get everybody you got. How can you get better with what you got? Now, I don't think the Cowboys listening to us personally about certain players. I don't. I'm gonna say this last thing about Pickens, and I know it's gonna upset some people, but it's the truth. And I go research it. And I don't researched it. I don't looked at it. The great Michael Irvin said the same. He said the thing that CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens have to do it together, and they complement each other. They do. And you watch Pickens this year, I would say 80% of his yards came off 3 or 4 different routes. If you recall, see, nobody want to talk about this. Pittsburgh, he only ran them same 3 or 4 routes. They're called what we call big play routes. He's a big play wide receiver. Got some elusiveness, got long strides, slant patterns, patterns over routes, going down the field where he's not going to get a lot of separation, just put the ball up. He's a big play wide receiver. There's a difference between big play and number 1 wide receiver. Michael Irvin said it best. He reminds me of me and Michael Alvin Harper. If anybody who let's go see that's why I tell y'all learn y'all history. I said learn your history. We had that same combination when Drew Pearson was here. You say, what you mean, coach? We had a young guy named Tony Hill at the end of Drew Pearson's time. If you go look at Logic Cowboy, he did a whole thing on Tony Hill. Tony Hill was a big play wide receiver, where Drew Pearson was the #1 wide receiver. Didn't say Drew Pearson didn't make no big plays, but the majority of catches that Tony Hill killed you with was big plays. Alvin Harper caught more big plays down the field than Michael Irvin. Look, don't be surprised. Yeah, that's where he went. Could Alvin Harper kept an out pass and a comeback? Yeah, but he could take the top off and hurt you. Long stride, bigger than Michael Irvin. Without Michael Irvin, though, and going into being the #1 wide receiver, when Alvin Harper left and went to Tampa Bay, it didn't work. So what the Cowboys are doing? Have anybody watched what the Cowboys are doing? Or y'all just talking and got your mind focused on Pickens getting paid, but y'all ain't watched what the Cowboys have done? Every wide receiver they done picked up in the last week or so, which they done picked up a couple of them, all of them do the exact same thing. Look at their backgrounds. Look at their routes. Look what type of wide receivers they were. None of them were #1 wide receivers, not even in college. They were big play wide receivers. Look at the routes they run. The guy they drafted catching slants, going down the field. People talking about he never got touched. Big play. They went and got the veteran guy. Very fast, bigger, big play. They went and got another guy that from this past week that he's 6'3", big play guys. Know who gonna be the possession and big play guy if CeeDee Lamb get hurt? Floor noise. You won't think Pickens ain't gonna be in the camp? Do y'all think Pickens? Why y'all don't think Pickens gonna be in camp? You think Pickens gonna let these other these other guys shine with Dak Prescott and make some big plays in training camp? And then they start saying, okay, we got some other guys that can run those same routes behind CeeDee Lamb when they got that opening. You think George Pickens gonna sit there and watch that? You best believe no. You gotta worry about your practicing. They ain't gonna take, listen, Cowboys playing psychological warfare. Y'all ain't picked up on it yet, but Coach Marv has. They went out and got guys that got the same attributes. It ain't gonna take them a couple of classes in the training camp and everybody say, ooh, that guy right there can run. See, they ain't when we're not talking about Little Short, my man Little Short. We ain't talking about the guy we drafted from Mississippi. No. We got big, fast guys because there's a place for them. See, it's about fit. We don't need him to do everything that Lamb does. We got something that's complementary to him. Big play type routes, big play type speed. Somebody's a little bit bigger. All the guys that they got picked up lately are bigger, faster, speed. Put them with a guy like Dak Prescott that puts it on the money, that has built all the receivers around him. They're going to say, we'll find somebody else to fit the role. We like you here. But y'all don't see that, do you? It's coming. Training camp gonna show you. And when it start happening, remember Coach Marv told you, go look at his routes. Ain't no about 5, if that many, that he ran over and over and over again. Because that's what he does good. Think about this, man. 93 catches was his most catches in a year. His whole 68 was the most before that. Good yards per catch. But this 93 this year, all your major wide receivers had over 100. He's not a volume catcher guy. He's a big play guy. Don't get that confused. I remember the Raiders. Anybody remember the Raiders? My dad was a big Raider fan. Cliff Branch played with another guy, wide receiver, back in that day, early on in his career. Was it Lance Allworth? Or Cliff Branch came when Lance Allworth was in, and then Cliff Branch took over. But Cliff Branch was one of the fastest guy receivers in the league. Cliff Branch was a big play guy. But he wasn't the number one wide receiver. He'd kill you. But he was a big play guy. Lynn Swann was a big play guy. Stallworth was the number one wide receiver. Mark Clayton and Super Duper. Super Duper was your big play guy. He got a lot of volume catches, but Mark Clayton was your number one guy. Charlie Jefferson and Jonah, two Hall of Fame wide receivers. Jonah was your number one guy. Jefferson was your big play guy. They got a lot of plays. They complemented each other. Not to say they can't do certain things. And as they said, that Lamb can't make big plays. But know your football, people, before you start going out here, and not know your football in a way where you're trying to, there's a reason. And they have a plan for the guy of the opposite of CeeDee Lamb. Everything's going to complement each other. Everything's going to complement each other. And they went to get guys that they can fit those roles. Not asking them to be dominant, just fit those roles. Mm-hmm. Charlie Brown was the big play guy. Art Monk was the long-term number one guy. And you know something about the big play guy? They don't last as long. Just say it, man. This it. Football don't change, man. Football hadn't changed in 50, 60 years. Y'all think it's changed. And if it is changed, then change for the worse. So, team, man. If we learn anything about team, man, fan base. I hope y'all learn something about it. You ain't got to be a Knicks fan. Just learn about the Knicks fan base. They're arrogant now. They're going to be obnoxious as hell now. You can't tell them nothing. But one thing you can say, they stuck there with their team through 53 years, and they love every one of their players that went through those 53 years. They talk trash, but and listen, they don't like their owner, but their team want to fight their own. Let's lock into some of these guys that have given us some great service. Let's start promoting these guys that's on this team instead of trying to find their replacements. And remember, if somebody lets somebody go right now, there's a reason. If there's a guy sitting out there right now and they ain't picked up in this long, there's a reason. If he can fill a role, fine. But you ain't gonna get nobody right now that's gonna fit a all-star role. You're looking for fits now. Let's put this team together. Let's go to work. Let's get better. And let's try to be defensive led with an explosive offense. And I ain't worried about $30 million wide receivers. If you want to do something, let's get another backup, another running back, or let's let these guys run and let's see how they do. Let's get this running game going. And these receivers will be even better. All of them. But you don't need to. I was saying that. If you want to pay him $27 million, give him a long-term contract, $28 million, that's fine. If you want to lock him up that way, fine. Then what he does then he knows his role. He knows what his role is. I'm a Laker fan. You heard what this? I think somebody told me today that the Lakers offered LeBron James 2 years at $25 million a year. And somebody said, nah, he want a max deal. Think about what's going on with the LA Lakers now. The Lakers said this is Luka Doncic's team. And that's understandable. He's your best player. And for him to have his best player, if you give the max deal to LeBron James, you're giving LeBron James and the whole perception the wrong saying. Why would you pay LeBron James the max deal and Luka Doncic is your best player? That's dysfunctional. And now you're setting the tone for this team to be led by another guy that ain't your best player. This is not about a historical value here. Right now, Luka Doncic is your best player. He showed it all year. See, but this star-studded stuff makes you do dysfunctional stuff because you try to run your team like a star stuff. That's crazy. And that's why I said about the George Pickens thing. This is not the ordinary star wide receiver getting signed by the team and he gets 17%. He's not, because he has not earned the right to be better than the guy that's in that position already. And nobody else has this type of scenario. You can't name a scenario like this. And if you go to Cincinnati, they put the franchise tag on Higgins until he understood that, hey, you're going to get this amount and the number one wide receiver going to get this amount. If you want to stay here, you got to be happy with that. And guess what? He was happy with it. And it's going to be some games that Higgins is going to be the man. But he's not better than the number one guy. And Higgins is a big play wide receiver. They complement each other. So, like I said, man, common sense is key, man. And if you don't, this football ain't no different. And if you apply it and you think about it in your own life, if it don't apply, if you was in that situation, don't try to put it on somebody else. Say, well, that's how they are. If you was in that situation, you probably would think the same way. Would you pay somebody else if you believe the other guy's better? Come on, man. And you're gonna be strong arm into doing that because of the fan base. As I always say, man, thank y'all so much. If somebody wants to support the channel, y'all already done enough supporting of the channel just by getting me over 1,000 subscribers. But if you want to support the channel even more, here's my Cash App. Anything right now. I'm trying to get to the point where I can do those phone calls so I can maybe give a chance to somebody like Big Time Show gave to me to talk on my show, and then they can talk on my show and get a chance and be have the gumption to me give them an opportunity to have the platform to talk, and then they may start out and get their own show and branch off. That's what life is all about, man. Paying it forward. If you ain't paying it forward, you ain't doing anything, man. Pay your blessings forward. As I always say, man, remember this. Nothing or no one can stop God's will. Nothing and no one can stop God's will. Remember that, people. Um, no one stop it. Not only that I got to the 1,000 subscribers today, that's great. Also, if you add a super chat, I'll be over my threshold with my super chats. That'd be great. I think I'm about $24 away from being over my thresholds in super chats. Hit that like button, hit the share button. Thank you. If you hadn't subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you for all you have done. Thank you, man. I just want to get to the point, man, that I pay it forward. And thank you, Big Time Show, man. Just pay it forward. I hope y'all don't think I'm ranting raving, but I just want y'all to understand the stuff I'm saying is true, man. And this ain't got nothing to do about what the Jerry Joneses been doing, man. I think that they have done a very good job of doing it. But they gonna have listen. They like any other owners, man. If I gotta buy it all up, what we got, and when they look around, think about it, man. Thank you, Miss Ginger, for the super chat. When they look around, man, they look around and see other teams doing it with less talent and win the Super Bowls. And then you ask me to go buy some most people. And I look at my team and I got more Pro Bowlers than they got. And then you want me to go get more? I got more better draft picks, and you want me to go get more? What we doing with the guys we got? And I go and look around, and our ownership go look around, they look around, and I challenge everybody. Tell me what these other teams getting all these free agents. And you can look it up. All teams that get the most free agents every year. And then we say, well, I heard somebody tell me the other day talking about, well, New England got a lot of free agents. I guarantee you, a lot of the free agents New England got last year, y'all wouldn't even want them. Y'all, yeah, they would have been good enough for y'all. No, man, we getting that guy for it. We could have gotten better. They got guys that fit. Ain't about when they get somebody that fit. And then they got play out of some guys that was there already that rise their level. That's what is going on. Appreciate it, Mr. Steve. Looking forward, man. Yep. On the freight train. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you, Miss Ginger, and thank you, man. Mr. Stephen Jones is a member. He's my first member. He's always going to be known as my first member. And I got a shirt called "My Defense Is a Weapon." Matter of fact, I got the guy the first week in July. We gonna have that, Mr. Stephen Jones. What I need you to do, sir, since you have been so much supportive for me, inbox me on Twitter. Inbox me your address and stuff like that. And your shirt is coming first. No, don't need to say nothing. It's coming. Inbox me your address and everything, and your name and all that, man. And it's coming first. And I thank all the other people, man, that's been hanging with me for day one. We appreciate you, man. But like I said, nothing, no one can stop God's will. Be having a discerning spirit, man. Please have a discerning spirit. As I keep telling you at these days of time, discernment is the key to your survival. And you have to be locked into the source. And you ask the source on you meditate and pray on every person that comes into your space, every situation that comes in your space, everything that comes in your space, you keep and you have that discerning spirit. And you are going, when you ask the correct source, you will get the correct answer. Now, are you gonna listen to the answer? Because sometimes the answer is gonna be something that you might not want to hear. But it's gonna be key to your survival. There's nothing more that no way to get to anything without work. Right? And always, as I always say, man, everything starts with a hope. Has a little faith to that hope. Persevere through all the ups and downs. Then you be ready for the breakthrough. Until next time, people. Salute. Peace.